Well, good morning. This is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com. Today is Friday, February 17th. And as always, we're going to take a look back at last week's eBay auctions and take a look at a few other things that are going on in the on that site. Some auctions that are closing this coming weekend, some things that are up now. And we're going to take a look also. There's a snuff bottle auction that is being done at Christie's. And we just loaded the catalog onto our site this week. If you want to go take a look at it, it's part of the Barron's collection, which was a collection built here in Massachusetts. So let's get started. Let's see here. Shot number one was this. HFX1279 is his username. Had a big sale up, ended earlier this week. And in it, he had this rather nice jade brush washer with fungus all over it, nicely carved, good color, well polished, and it did quite well. It brought let's see here, it brought $2,938, almost $3,000. It was a nice looking jade. And he had a lot of other things too. He had this. This was really nice. This was sort of a monkey god bamboo carving. Nicely done, early 19th century, maybe even 18th century. Beautiful little carving. I like bamboo. And this was a good one. And nice detail all over. And it brought a good price, but I don't think it was oversold. I don't think the price was too high at all. It went for $850. These will sell sometimes in New York for $2,000 or $3,000. And then he also had these. He had a nice selection of Yixing teapots, if you like Yixing, and they all brought reasonable prices. Some of them did quite well. This one with the dragon, those generally are toggle. They move back and forth. Did pretty well, brought $728, and he had some more typical ones like this little enamel example here, and so forth. So he had a good sale. And then we had this. This was another seller we like to feature. He had this rather attractive early 20th century dragon robe in blue, on a blue ground. Good condition. It was in beautiful condition. And it did quite well as well. It did $3,250. But it was a nice robe. Condition is everything when it comes to silks. And let's get over here. This was a nice sandalwood carved box, card case. Beautiful detail, a lot of detail, small scale detail on this, and nice condition. I looked it over pretty carefully. Couldn't see any damage to it. You often see the same exact style of carving done, obviously, in ivory, which are hard to ship these days because of international laws. But this is a really fine little card case. And it brought a good price, but I don't think it was a crazy price at all. It was a good price for a collector. $587 or 470 pounds. It was a seller in the UK that had this, somebody that we keep track of. And then we had this. This was another seller in the UK had these pieces. These are good export examples. Skids is his seller name. And he had this really nice teapot, a covered bowl, some saucers and so forth. Obviously, it all came from the same set. And the prices were quite good on it. The little teapot here brought over a little over $1,000. But I don't think that was an unreasonable price for that. I think these were all very reasonable, good looking, and nice pattern, done very much like European porcelain. And moving on, we get over to this. If you like carved polished soapstones, this might have been the bargain of the week with two of them. And they're early 20th century soapstones, but very good quality, really good quality carving on these. And I like the rocky style bases that they were on, and the way the faces are done. There was some pigment added to highlight the pieces, and but nicely polished and nicely finished. And this pair, I don't know where everybody was, unless there are no soapstone collectors left, but went for $89 from a seller in Ohio who gets good things. And these were a nice-looking pair of carvings. It was $40 a piece with $15 shipping. Seemed like a real good buy. And with these big pair, these were big. These were 60-something centimeters tall, a little over 2 feet tall each. Nice pair of rose medallion vases with these Lotus pod handles on the side, which are pretty unusual, and then with Lotus buds coming up on the other side. Nice big pieces with this garlic-shaped mouth at the top. Rather an atypical form for these. As you know, most of them have flared rims, but these are nice. And they brought a good price. They did well. They brought $2,638. They were in very good condition, as the seller noted. And bravo, somebody got a nice big pair of vases. Didn't overpay. Didn't overpay. And there was this I put in the newsletter last week because I like folky blue and white. And this is probably a late Ming dish and drawn rather loosely. And I like these. They actually did some of these in the 15th century, and they did them in the late Ming period. And it did all right. It brought $338. It was in good condition. And somebody got a nice piece of blue and white for the collection out of it. And there was this. This was kind of surprising. This was 15 pieces of rose medallion. And rose medallion tea sets typically don't bring a lot, but it may be because it was a complete set. You had the covered sugar, the creamer, the cups, the saucers, and the teapot. For somebody that wants all of it in one swoop and all of it matching, this was a pretty attractive offering, I suspect. And it did very well. It brought $885 for rose medallion, which seems like a very good price if you consider what some of these would bring individually. But sometimes putting up a complete set draws attention from collectors. There you go. And there was this. This was a nice Kangxi femme hiver, wutsai dish sold by a friend of ours over in the Netherlands. Beautiful quality, nice color, well drawn, nice detail drawing on it. Some overglazed blue enamels and with the birds and flowers. Nice piece. And it did all right, but it wasn't overpriced at all, and it wasn't underpriced. It brought $484. Our friend Freek over in the Netherlands had it. He had a good sale up of some dishes. And then next there were this pair of moon flasks, really well done, pretty good size too, 39 centimeters or roughly 15, 16 inches tall. And they were in very good condition with bat handles, auspicious bats and dragons, and so forth. Nice pair, mid to late 19th century, but good quality. And moon flasks always have interested buyers. They display well, they look great in houses, up on mantles and so forth, and pairs of them do well. And this pair brought $2,375 from a seller, Ancient Legends. We feature him fairly often. He gets good things, so it's always keep an eye on him. We put him in the newsletter every week when he has something, pretty much. And then there was this for the late Ming Wan Li collector, this rather attractive Lotus petal rimmed bowl with a bird in the center, a well-known pattern, and it has this stylized aprons around the interior here, framing the scene of the birds, very nicely done, with these different diaper patterns and lattice patterns and so forth. And a nice little plate, nice attractive looking plate. Wasn't huge, but it did well. It brought $335. I remember a few years ago I was at an auction and there was one like this, and I think it brought up around $1,000. And it was virtually identical. So you never know. This was from a seller in California that we'd not seen before, but we put the dish in. It was a nice looking plate. And then there was this silk. As you know, we pay pretty close attention to textiles. Chinese silks can be bought if you're a dealer. You can pick them up sometimes for next to nothing at yard sales and things. And this was a nice framed silk needlework with peacocks and cockerels, and an inscription with a couple of seals. And we liked it a lot. The pictures were terrible. I don't know how this was the best picture the guy took. I don't know what his setup is, but pictures are important. Take good photographs, for heaven's sake. It still did well. It brought $3,200. I don't agree with him that it's 18th century. I think it's probably a 19th century silk, but nonetheless, it was a beautiful example. And then we have this. This is some of the things that are coming up this week. This is my friend Kenny down in Florida. He sells under the username of KB Antiques. He deals a lot with American Chinese export for America and for Europe. He sells other things too. He's an old-time dealer. And here's this. This is a very nice Garniture Vase. These originally are, most often appear in sets of 5. with a couple of open vases and a couple of covered jars. But this is a good one, and it's got that nice white ground on it with the mandarin scenes, done around 1780 or so. Nice looking vase. He just started the sale. It goes another 9 days. We'll have him in the newsletter this week, and you want to check his other things out. He's got a good eye, and he's very careful about condition, much more so than many people. And a nice vase. And this is something we have up right now. We have a load of silks up right now. We got a silk collection, and this is one of the robes we got. As many of you will recognize it. It's a fairly rare type. Beautiful quality, and in pretty much perfect condition. It's a wonderful robe. There's also, I think we have 3 or 4 dragon robes. I'd have to ask my son. He handles these, but very nice. There's a detail of it. A little shameless self-promotion here. Sorry. Anyway, but it's a beautiful robe. It really is. My daughter-in-law came and posed in it the other day for a family photo. Anyway, move along. And this is another sale that starts this evening. Joni's up in Canada has got another big lot coming up, including a rather big Chinese chest and some good porcelain bronzes, some jades, some early bronzes, some later bronzes. A good mix. Their last sale they had a couple of weeks ago did well. And this will be another big sale, 150 lots. So come back and check with us on that. It goes 10 days. It's all unreserved, as always. And our friend Ancient Arts, Bob, over in the Netherlands, he's got a sale that just started. You can always spot his sales because he uses these beautiful green apples to show scale. But this is a nice-looking sale. Nice-looking. He's a picker in the Netherlands, and he gets into some good things. Some good Chinese jewelry, some good porcelain, and also, as you can see here, you somehow got a hold of a rather nice collection of a few good Chinese silver cigarette cases. So you want to check that out, all right? And then lastly is this. This is a really nice Lang Yao vase. A friend of ours down in the Carolinas has. Or Virginia rather, eclectic mix. Good Lang Yao vase, probably 18th century vase, 17 inches tall. Not getting a lot of interest. I'm kind of surprised. It's a good vase. And you might want to check that out. He'll be in the newsletter again this week. All right, and that's about it. Oh, I meant to tell you about the Christie's catalog. Go to the dealers tab on our page, click Christie's. We're heading into Asia Week, and the first catalog they got up for Asia Week was the Snuff bottle collection from the Baron collection. It's right here on the dealer page under Christie's. You can click it open and browse through it. There's some great bottles in here, some really nice bottles. The Baron family were well-known collectors. He was a wealthy local guy here in Massachusetts, and they've been having parts of his collection sold off over the last few years. This is just part of it. So if you're a snuff bottle collector, come and check it out. I think you'll find some interesting pieces and some good information about them and a lot of good provenance on these bottles. All right, and that's about it. If you haven't subscribed yet to the newsletter, please come to the website and do so. You can subscribe right on the newsletter page itself. It's free. And leave a comment here on YouTube if you have something to say or you want to ask a question. We're happy to answer them. We do answer them, actually, unlike some people that never answer anything. We answer them, we'll respond. And you can subscribe for the newsletter right here. Just sign up for it. All right. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. All right. Bye-bye.